is to always bring your ideas to the table. Some of us are selfish. We have ideas. It's just like some of you here. You may see. Deliver,
Aim to deliver.
aim to deliver.
Be intentional.
Which one do I take? Okay, be intentional, yes. Giving feedback, what else? Uh-huh.
Share ideas.
Share ideas. So try and internalize it. You don't just calm them. Try and make it your way of life. Make it. So the next one, for you to position yourself, is cultivate a followership. Is it? Cultivate a followership. Have people who are going to be willing to follow you. So, do you have the ability to inspire people? Do you have the ability to talk to people, to collaborate, to take action? So, for instance, in this, just like this camp now, it will have taken a lot of collaborative efforts for people to work together. So, are you easygoing? Are you somebody that is easily relatable? Over, you know. If so, then you have the skills to, or the
Let's try it.
a followership. However, now attracted by you. And then also, be someone who sets the bar high. Don't be somebody who sets the bar low. Aim for excellence. Why should you be second in class when you can be best in class? You know, when you want to do things, it's not like, you could see from my comments. I said, why are we having this quote and unquote setting? Come on. You get my point. Aim for excellence. If you don't aim for excellence, it's not going to happen. If you set your bar low, that's what you're going to mix. So it's a mindset thing. So a truly inspirational leader will then provide a way for the colleagues or employees, to achieve unachievable things. Just look at this campsite, for instance. It was an idea. It was an idea, but people had set the bar high. Really. And those of the whoever is a member of ESCO knows my views on what is happening here. I've told them they set the bar low, and I keep telling them they continue low buying. But I will continue to criticize until you come to my way of thinking. So whether they like it, Tawan or Karahan, Abi. So, but truly, because at the end of the day, now you see that when you set your bar high, you start seeing things happening which you will not be able to. Are you taking the feedback already? It's not fine. It's too late anyway. The fourth point, Abi, I'll give you three now. The fourth point is that be someone who does not ignore problems. Like you can see, I don't like when there's a problem, solve them. So like this one, this is a problem statement. Let's solve them. Let's brainstorm. Let's fix them. That's my point on that. So the second point is cultivate a followership. Abi?
Yes, sir.
Comprises of how many things? Number one.
Work harder than everyone else.
Number two.
They must love what you do.
Number three.
Be someone who set the bar high.
And number four.
Don't ignore problems.
Don't ignore problems. When you see problems, embrace them. Problems are things that would actually propel you to leadership. Problem solvers are the ones who would rise naturally because they are given a natural platform to excel. Number three, be boldly self-aware. Self-awareness. If you want to aspire to leadership, you must have self-awareness. And self-awareness is your ability to focus on yourself and how your actions, thoughts, or emotions do or don't align with your internal standards. So most of us are not self-aware. And that's why when we're giving feedback that is not in line, in sync with what we think we know of ourselves, we resist it. So you must know your strengths, and if necessary, take a what you call a 360 feedback survey, or or get a peer review from people to give you more input as to tell you as to who you are. So if you want to emerging position in the future, you should, because emerging leaders must possess strong self-awareness, because self-aware leaders make the right decisions. The leaders who are not self-aware make emotional decisions. And then in the slides, you will see some of the benefits that it gives you power to influence others' outcomes. It gives you power to influence outcomes when you're self-aware. It helps you to become better decision makers. It gives you more self-confidence. It allows you to understand things from multiple perspectives. It builds better relationships because when you are aware of your limitations, you will know. I know what trips me off. So once I'm about to be tripped off, I have to regulate myself, and that's what will lead to better relationships. So number three is what? And what is self-awareness? Know your strengths and make sure it's in alignment with your internal standards. Number four, think strategically. If you want to aspire, position yourself for leadership, you must be able to think strategically. And what does that mean? As a strategic leader, you're able to better assess and capitalize on enabling forces that will work to your advantage. You can look ahead, anticipate scenarios, and envision how events unfold in the future. So when a leader is able to consider strategic thinking, they gain an important skill, and they're able to work through unknown situations. So, like when I look at and do people buy into? So if you don't know your brand or your question how things can be done better, at all times, try to determine the root cause instead of reacting to each problem as you see it. So number four is what?
Think strategically.
What is number one? Number two?
Cultivate followership.
Number three?
Self-awareness.
Number four?
Think strategically.
The last tip I'm going to give you: attract mentors. Does anybody have a mentor here? If you have a mentor, hands up. So it's a big baggy. You can look at you, only few of you have mentors. How do you then want to aspire? So start establishing relationships with leaders who can mentor you. So where is the grammar president? Wait. I think grammar should actually have a mentoring program, platform, where it can help you put these things. Now, when you meet a person you admire, and by the way, terms and conditions, all of you should not come and meet me. Come and meet you. Because now I'm thinking of the things, now everybody now come and queue like, no. When you meet somebody you admire, or you look up to, or you aspire, try to have a 20-minute informational meeting just to try to understand, what is going on, whether you can learn from them. And in so doing so, and why most people don't fail, because they don't embrace the following tips when they're looking for mentors. So the first thing you need to do, you actually have to show genuine work. Show genuine interest, because a mentoring relationship is a two-way thing. It's not just about you tapping. The person is going to apply himself, so you must be able to show genuine interest. Do your research and ask them specific and relevant questions that demonstrate your curiosity and eagerness to learn from them. You must be able to offer value. It's not that you'll be sucking like all that in the parasite, a leech, just sucking, and you suck, So offer value. Think of ways you can help them, because these people too, they are not perfect. But maybe because you are also looking at things with a fresh pair of eyes, you can say, okay, sorry, but I noticed this thing. I don't know whether, suggestion to just to show that you also have value to offer. Be respectful of their time. This one we're all guilty of. When people are mentoring you, you don't respect their time. And I've had so many of these experiences. Some people come and say, okay, mentor me. Now, naturally by default, I don't turn down people. Where is he? That's one of them. This one of them. This one of them. This one of them. But they don't respect my time. So when you please, if he tells you he's my mentee, I've disclaimed him publicly. I'll not get to disclaimer. So are you saying I'm lying? So, but seriously, what I was just saying, when people have that time, especially when they give you assignments and you're supposed to get back, and you don't do it at the right time, it becomes a problem. Okay? So be proactive in your learning and growth. And don't just wait for them to tell you to do things. You also be suggesting, okay, I should do this, can I do this, can I do this? Be yourself. Don't try to be somebody you are not. Always maintain your identity, but learn from, leverage on the other person's experience. Be authentic, be honest, and humble. And of course, you must be loyal to them. Because when you see a true mentor-mentee relationship, the person is going to open everything. You're going to have privileged information. If you then go and abuse that trust, then that's the end of it. So you see that a lot. Look, my time is up. I have other things to say. My colleague is here. He would say. But more importantly, you get the slides. I wanted to actually talk about, but the total time is up. But there are things you just even need that. Even how do you then deliver exceptional performance? And I'm going to give you a tool or a resource which you can go and check. Based on research, and tells you on what you really need to imbibe, to put as part of your DNA, to become, and things you need to avoid. So there are things that are called fatal flaws. Once you have them in your leadership, you are dead. You are dead, no matter how good you are. So, but you don't have to, maybe during the panel session, we might be able to talk like a colleague on stuff for the sound controversial.
We appreciate you so much for the points. And we'll be moving to the second speaker, who will also be speaking for 20 minutes first before the panel session. And permit me to introduce to you Mr. Adidayo Amzat, who is the CEO of ZQuest Capital. He will also be speaking with us now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm extremely delighted to be here. I'm jealous and envious of you guys. You found the time to gather yourselves together away from all the noise and all the hustle and bustle of Lagos. To devote the time to come and learn from yourselves, I think that is something phenomenal. So, congratulations to you. Jazakallah khairan. Kana Allah fi hawnik. May Allah bless all your efforts. Myself and my big brother Mutupe, we don't know anything, right? We're all here to also learn. And by this interaction, I'm hoping that you find a lot of values. There's no hard science to leadership, none, totally none. I would like to pick up from where you dropped off. It was speaking about mentoring and about how to respect people's time. Two things I would say is that mentoring does not have to be someone that you can talk to all the time. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is our biggest mentor. Why? Because his life is documented. We can read about him, about how he related with the Sahabs, and with his family, with the Ummah, with the leadership, with even people that are not even Muslims at the time. How he left Mecca to go to Abyssinia to go and seek for asylum. He must be someone that was good-natured enough, that was nurturing enough for them to have even accepted him. So you must have this sense of empathy for the other camp, for you to be able to have a good relationship, even with your mentors. He said something about people respecting people's time, and it's because they say something, they say that every man's problem is the biggest. Yeah. So the thing that you think you need is the thing that is in your own head, you know, I need this thing, I'm looking for a job. That my uncle that said I should bring CV. I was taking CV, every time I call him, he's cutting my call and say, I'll call you back. He never calls back. Many people offended me like that when I was young, you know. So there's this sense that my problem is the biggest. And so I'm trying to solve my problem. And I'm talking to this big man that is driving Range Rover and he's clearly not even picking my calls. When you accept that everyone's problem is the biggest, that means Motope's problems are also the biggest problems. And he's also fighting for hair every day, trying to survive. It may not be obvious, you know. So it is one thing. First thing in relationship is what? Empathy for the other person. You got people who say something. You don't know what the person is going through. And I had one mentee in my office. So at ZCrest, we are a financial services group. We do everything in financial services, investment banking, asset management, all sorts of things. But we also do investing. We also invest in businesses. And then you know these boys, smart people with good ideas, we invest in them. And then every other day they call you, hey boy, I'm tired. Hey boy, I need this. I need more money. Hey boy, I need help tonight. I need help tonight. Then he came to my office and I said to him, this relationship has been on for 2 years. Have you ever nurtured this relationship? Think about it. What have you given? When I see your phone call, my blood pressure is rising because it may not even be money. You want my time. You know, you are coming to discuss your problems with me, right? Which means it's not a good thing, right? Which means my psychology will be affected. Maybe that time my wife just cooked a paradigm for me and I'm trying to relax. And then you call me and say, hey, God, there's one crisis. What does it do to me? I have my own problem. So did you try to nurture the relationships? And so that's the first thing you must do also, to continue what from what Mudupe has said. We must think of the other person as a human being with his own needs. You don't win anything from Dangote by people will tell you elevator pitch that when you are what we tell Dangote when you get to the elevator with him. If you go and tell any mentor you failed, right? If you go and carry where's that my proposal? You have failed in the mentor relationship. It is empathy that wins you in bed with people. When I meet in relationships, because I'm a big salesman, I don't try to sell. I try to love. I say that my goal is that when I leave this meeting, this person must love me. What do I do to make person? You can see that if that's the thinking, I won't be bringing my proposal. The first thing I ask people, like for example, I'll say, I hope you've had a good year. I know it's been tough, but I hope you've had a good year. Then what the human being starts to unbundle. What have you done? You created a real bond with people, and that's what is important. You know, so empathy is going to get you far in life. Genuine empathy. People that are rich, they are very guarded because they all stood together and they made so many mistakes. They've trusted a lot of younger people and they lost a lot of money. So they are, by nature, they are running away from these relationships. So you have to also understand where they are coming from. So back to leadership. I'll teach you 3 things that I think will make recognize what good leadership is, so that in any environment you are in, You want to see the signs of those three things. So they can say this is the signs of a good leader, right? And then even you yourself, you know what you need to be seen as a good leader in how you go. Leadership is not something that is top down, it's also bottom up. Leadership for me is just stakeholder management. How do I manage my relationship with Kamal then in a way that if I say Kamal, this is the important thing you should do next, he's going to listen to me. So it's not usually top down, it can be bottom up. The youngest person can go and tell their guy at the office and say, sir, I think we need to do this. So what does that mean? It means that you are leading your boss even in the next direction, because everybody else is going to be a leader. I'm the CEO of Zcrest. I have a colleague with me who is the head of marketing. He's my leader when it comes to marketing, right? He says this is the right thing we should do next. Because of my own experience, I bring some context to it, then we agree to disagree and then we move on. First thing is what they call autonomy. Do you have leaders that give the followers a sense of autonomy over their work? You don't want to micromanage people. So what does autonomy mean? Autonomy means empowering people with the resources to do the work and carving out for them a safe space to do the work without undue interference. That's autonomy. So every leader must be able to give people a sense of autonomy over their work. I own my work. The thing that brings fulfillment to people is not money. So today I left Access Bank about 11 years ago. I think I can't make a speak without referencing my time in Access Bank. Why? Because of my experience there. I owned my job, right? I felt fulfilled in the fact that I was a young worker, spent just 4 years in total, but I did important work. I was allowed to do important work. I was allowed, but I also gave myself into important work, right? That's what makes leadership. And that was why Zcrest became a thing, because even while I was an employee, I was acting as if I owned the business in whatever shape and form. They won't have to beg me to stay and work till 12 midnight, till 2 a.m. Nobody has to talk to me to do that. I have important deliverables. The bank needs to go somewhere. It is resting on my desk. It has to be done. Taking initiative. They call me Mr. Fix-It while I was in the bank. My colleagues call me Mr. Fix-It. Those are the early signs of a leader. When people around you depend on you to get their own work done. When they depend on you as a sounding box. And this guy, only a big gun, so they're not biliary. If they call you at 12 o'clock in the night, we need to go for a meeting. I say, let's do it. You know, we're all Gen Z here, all of us. All I say Gen Z.
Mo ti bèrè gan-an. Ìbéèrè ló pọ̀ jù lọ.
Gen Z ni wà ẹjọ́ kò sí ìdàgbà bẹ́ẹ̀. But there are three types of Gen Z. There's the rich, you have American Gen Z. You have rich people's Gen Z, and then you have poor man Gen Z. And we are all poor men Gen Z. We don't have the luxury of behaving like an American Generation Z. Able to make power. So this sense of balance of work-life balance, you have to throw it away. You have to find balance in the work that you do. You have a mission to prove to the world, because we are all from the villages. We are all poor men Gen Zs. Our affair grow. Right? We don't have any social welfare system. If we don't do our work, right? We can't help the woman if we are poor. So we don't have that opportunity to be balancing work. We need to put in all our efforts in these early days and burn through the midnight candle. Imagine you're not feeling alone. That design that is waiting, you do it in the midnight. So when you get to work in the morning, when you have a poor working soon, you go to soon. I'm a poor man. Gen Z. So ownership, they're giving you the autonomy at work to do your work. But own it. You're the entrepreneur. I ask my people all the time, if this company was yours, would you tell me at 9 o'clock would you tell me you're going on vacation and your phone should be switched off? If it was your real work, customers are calling, you won't do that. So if you want that sense of ownership that's autonomy given to you, then you must also come to it with what? Ownership. It is my work. I must be the best at this thing. They must rely on me for everything they do in this company. If you do that well, when your own opportunity opens up to you, you'll be a natural leader. So autonomy. 2, sense of belonging. Everybody here is not from the same family or from the same village, but something brought us together. We have a central identity. We are Muslims, right? We are Muslims, we are young people, we are early career people. So that's our sense of belonging. If I say, why am I here? It's because everybody knows why they are here. That sense of belonging. So in every leader must create a sense of belonging for what people that work around them. We must say that there's something that binds us together. So that work must be a mission, right? It must look like war, like battle, like when an army led by any of the big caliphs at the time, they know why they are there, when they are carrying that staff of Islam to go to battle. So it must be the same. Work and life and career is also the same. It must be. It's not just about another job, another job, another job. Find a great employer that you are able to commit 5-10 years to, right? That is serious enough that the mission is strong enough that you believe in it, and then you must hold that staff as if you are holding the staff of battle, which means you must see that thing as the most important pillar in your life in a way. So that every time you think you are in the bathroom, you're also furthering the growth of that institution. Like everybody is furthering the growth of this institution, which I don't believe in it, because I can see 2,000 people also gathered in this entire camp. If you people are donating 1,000 naira every month, we would have covered this building well, but we'll come back to that one. Sense of belonging.
It's only feedback, so they are all now.
Yeah. Then the third point is competence. You can't become a leader if you are not competent. What does leadership mean? When a general, who is the most famous Amirul Daesh in Islam, the leader of battles? Huh? Give me another one. Abu Baida. Let's stay with Khalid. Do you know Amru led fights? Well, let's stay with Khalid and Hamza, for example. My name is Hamza, so yes. But think about what it means when Khalid says we are going to battle, and then people leave their brain behind and follow his leadership. Do you know what that means? People say, my life is yours to direct. If you tell me that it makes sense for this battle to go stand in front of a cannon, I will do it, because it means that that's your strategy, right? It means that if the cannon kills me, then maybe you open the door for the other. Do you know the kind of belief you must have in a leader to put everything at his feet, to say, I will follow you to battle? It's not just, because when you're in battle, you are not the one telling yourself what to do. The leader is, you are now an ingredient, you are an equipment. That is what disposable even, if it favors the strategy of the battle. So for a leader to be a leader, people must be ready to leave everything to follow you. Your statements will be law to people. Do you know the kind of competence you must have for people to have that faith in you? So as you are trying to also grow, you have to understand that competence is what gives you the authority for leadership. Leadership is not what's it called? It's not unicorn, it's earned. You are not born as a leader. I mean, some people are born, they are part of the British monarchy, for example. But you have to earn leadership. And how do you earn competence and compassion? Competence. So you have to have this high level of competence for people to trust whatever it is that you say. So as you're starting your careers, competence is important. In your company, when you do appraisals, are you the number one person? Are you going to score a star all the time? It is important. It's not negligible. When you're in school, having a first class is not optional. 2-1 is not optional, because it's a leadership challenge. They've gathered all of you in a room and say, we are giving you this task and this mandate. Right? Why is it an option to be last? Or to be below average? It's not even Islamic. I'm sure that you did very well. You will even be a sense somewhere that being last is a sin that can take you to hellfire. Because that's what Islam stands for. We must be the best in everything, in industry, in literature, in everything. So we must have a sense of competence that is superior to every other person around us. That's what makes you a leader. So as you start your career, as you are finishing school, understand that for you to become a leader in life, you must be excellent and extremely competent. So that's the ABC of leadership. Okay, I think I came late, so I don't think I have the authority to speak too much. How many minutes do I have left? 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I'll dash it to the house. We'll go straight to the next agenda. Thank you.
Takbir. Jazakumullah khairan, and thank you very much to our two facilitators, that we can all learn from their own personal story and more insight that they will have to share with us. So while I'm asking them the question, I'll also be calling for questions from every one of us. If you have questions, please prepare them ahead. So thank you very much for the beautiful presentation. I would like to ask this question for both of you, sir. The first question: how did you rise to the top, and what worked for you? Yes. You like
Sorry, what's the question again?
How did you rise to the top, and what worked for you? How did you rise to become the CFO of MTN Nigeria, and what worked for you?
Okay, so it's okay. Don't blame the messenger. So much as you did. Okay, how did I rise to the top? Well, truth be told, when I was leaving school, at the early age, I learned about the importance of setting goals. So everything I did was all in setting goals. So once I graduated way back then from the only university in the country, which is University of Lagos. That is the power of the man. University. The other was pretenders. So okay, that was then is what got me to the top. Should I say that? But jokes apart, once I left university, I set goals. I always set goals for myself, and I set goals in 10-year increments. And you can't hear me. I set goals for myself in increments of 10 years. Some work, some will not work. Doesn't really matter. But set for yourself. So it's just like Anzat said earlier, that in his time, in access, he probably set goals for himself. That's why I was able to take ownership of the space and became a subject matter. Same thing here too. So I joined an accounting firm, Coopers and Lyman at the time, now PricewaterhouseCoopers, and I said, okay, fine, I can't get to the top of this place. So I set a 10-year goal, looked at the things I had to do, in which case I had to qualify, I had to be exactly the things I told you today. Always go the extra mile, do the best on the job, take the jobs people don't want. Because in those days, all it was that you had, how do you say, Banana Island type of jobs. Those are the Montas, the best. Then you had the Ajegule type of jobs, or the Marocos type of jobs. Then really dirty jobs. Everybody wants the good jobs where there's no stress. I got my hands dirty in the dirty jobs, and that's where I learned rudiment, such that I was able to now start working directly with the senior partner of the firm. Other people, because of the hierarchy, they'll still be going through the ranks. I deal with him, and he just goes, multiple come, and you learn from his own insight. So you learn. So that's just one side of the story. So in a nutshell, set goals and follow the goals, and they must be smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So after 10 years, it didn't work. I dumped it, moved to the next step. So when you set goals, you always be moving in the direction you want.
Example of answer. You can share your story, sir.
Thank you. My story is 50% half of Mudupe's story, 50% opposite actually. I didn't set goals. I'm not one of those people that will come and tell you that the secret to become a billionaire is to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, read 2 hours. That's not what I am. All through secondary school, even university, they used to call me, they gave me a nickname, NFA. Who knows what NFA means? But you know the irony of it. I was literally the best student in every class from nursery to university. But I still have zero future ambition. I don't know plans. Because I'm coming from a poor background, what do I know? Jonas, I know nothing. And I was so confused, I didn't know what I wanted to do. But the important thing was that excellence. See, if you focus on excellence, they will discover you. It's simple. Things will discover you. When you see an opportunity, you will be the one that will be fit for that opportunity. I didn't have a future ambition because I didn't know what to do. My life was funny. They said I should do medicine. They said, well, I change it to engineering. You just don't know that. I was always worried that, hey, try your debate, right? But the comfort that I was literally always the best student in every class, never second in any classes I was born, So that just made sure that whenever there's going to be an opportunity, it was going to be me. So when I went to camp, NYC in Owerri, I was just floating in camp to what do we do next? And then a bank came to camp. It was the age of Nigerian rising. I'm sorry for a lot of you people here. You are becoming adults at the wrongest time in Nigeria. Nigerian declining. We were started at Nigerian rising, you know. And then a bank came to camp. They said, "Don't come and do interview." Bank, okay now. I did industrial chemistry. What's my own with bank? But she did exit test. Let's go and do. 180 students of us gathered, first class 2 ones. They picked only 2 people. I was one of the 2 people. When I again we heard that another bank was doing another test in another town. So 4 a.m. in the morning, we snuck out of camp, escaping the soldiers, entered Okada, entered bus, entered 3 buses, go to in the morning. Night bus. As coppers, we just escaped. We wrote the test from all the entire south region and southeast region of the bank, Access Bank then. Maybe another 150 people. 3 series of tests, 2 days of interviews. I left that place with an employment offer in my hand. So I got to camp, I had a job. On the last day of camp, the first bank came back. They said now their results. You are employed too, so I have 2 bank offers. This is someone that has 0 future ambition. So excellence is important. What is important? Competence. So to follow what my Edmond has said, when we got into this job, it's the same concept, right? I've never been second in any class. Why should I be second in my job? Taking ownership, like genuinely taking ownership of the hardest work, because that is important. It is there's no, forget all these intentional things you read. The things that were true during Adam's time, Sheikh Adam's time, Sheikh Adam, I'm getting confused with our Sheikh. That's Sheikh Adam in the so forgive me. The things that have always been true forever has not changed. For technology, hard work, intensive hard work, practice. You know, what brings strength is, they say you can't make a knife if you don't take iron through fire. You must be willing. You must not willing. You must attract fire. Like they must say, surely for what is cow? You like fire, by. Why does this guy want to do the hardest work all the time? Like you must be that person. Because the more you do, the more you are exposed to bigger opportunities. If he wasn't in a position to talk to senior partners, he would be getting the biggest assignments of his life that would make him stronger and stronger and stronger. I left the bank as an APU. I don't know if you are familiar with banking. APU is just level 2. But as an executive trainee, 6 months old, I was making presentations to I used to sit in their management meeting, making presentations. There was a time where I engaged in shouting. I said, okay, wait. Slide 5 will show you what you're asking me. Just be patient. You're not going to do that, sir. And then I just said, are you going to shut up and agree with you, stupid? I thought you can say, child. It's time to give up. Right? But even with that, do you not think you respected me? You respected me. The way to go to the top is not to disrespect that ladder. Do exceptional work. I did 4 years in Access Bank, 5 years in Press Capital. Why? Because my 4 years I did important, heavy work.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So now you know that you have to do the hard work and take job. Very important. So the next question, sir, to MEK. As a leader, how do you support potentials in young professionals? How do you support potentials in
I think the starting point is that the person must be passionate and have an idea of where he or she wants to go. I don't think, so when I do recruitment, for instance, if I'm recruiting somebody, I look at what the person may not see in his or herself, as long as the person has the ability or the potentials. So elsewhere you read about the fact that depending on which level, of course, if I recruit now, I'll probably recruit at a higher level, but for entry level type of jobs or whatever, it's still the same thing. So all those tests that he's talking about as an entry level job is just to see the resilience, to see the capacity, can they handle pressure? Because anybody who's able to cope at that, doesn't matter, they can always excel. So things like that you always put into practice. So I think in a nutshell, from your own point of view, you must prepare yourselves for that eventuality. Today most of our youth are lazy. I'm not saying Buhari style of lazy, but the truth of the matter, we're actually laid back. We don't even think. How many people read? How many people read? Do you read things to develop? Because in this Gen Z age, information is power. And the sort of concepts that you need to be used to are the sort of things that people in today's age will be looking at. It's not about, so for me, those are sort of things that I will look at when I want to engage people.
Thank you very much for the concise. So you mentioned that if you want to identify you as a potential, you have to be passionate and have idea of where you are going to exactly. So Mr. Abdat, you mentioned earlier about your days at Access Bank, how you've always been doing the hard work and how it has. Can you share a bit of more information about that and tell us how it influenced the leadership journey?
Thank you. So being passionate is extremely important. Again, if you have ownership, you'll be passionate. You want it to go somewhere. It's like starting a farm, a poultry farm. You are passionate because if you are not passionate, they will just die. So you are checking them, she goes to sick clearing, show them what poison. That passion. So put the same thing at work. For entry level people coming to a place, I mean, before you can even get to where me I'm sitting, you would have passed the first test I've talked about, competence. So you'll be 2-1. We just finished a graduate training program at ZCrest today. We got like 3,000 people signed up who wanted to. We tested about 1,500 people. Finally, we have about 41 people in training school. We are probably hiring 30 of them, right? So look at that selection that happens. A very important and usually overlooked skill is curiosity. The world is an abyss. It's chaos. There's nothing that all the things that we about the world today is just 1% of what is possible, right? So when you see somebody, you are looking for curiosity. Do they exhibit curiosity in the way they are even talking to you at the interview panel? Are they curious about what the company does? And you know what curiosity would have done? It will make them even better prepared to come and talk to you. This is the information age. I didn't get to use a personal computer until I started working at Access Bank, for example. My daughter at 4 has a laptop. We are in the information age, right? A curious person already knows about MTN, even before finishing school. Already knows about the fines that they were fined, $5 billion fine. Because you are curious. You are from there. From the ladies' my voice is loud now. Okay, thank you. When someone is curious, it will be very obvious. Hello? Okay. So curiosity is a skill set that you notice in anybody that is coming to you to say, I want a job from you. You ask them questions.
Line mode. With that line mode. If you know about it,
Abi, see ownership. Go and fix it.
Take ownership.
is that line mode.
Go the extra mile.
Exactly. What's the point about the lecture?
I wonder. Put it in practice.
Change the position.
So is it done now?
It should be a line mode. Line mode is the wire.
So are we good?
But Bluetooth, it should be going.
Hello? I think it's better. It will happen to me. Okay.
Change it.
Okay. Yes. So curiosity is a huge skill set, right? And it will be obvious. If you're trying to get into a sector, you should already be an expert in the sector, and it will show. You can't. Even though you are supposed to be a blank slate. I'm trying to start a job. I don't know anything. But you should already know from the outside. What does MTN do? What are the important parts of their journey up until now? Are they founded? What's their market capitalization?
Bluetooth mode. One email.
Okay. So what's MTN's market capitalization? When were they fined by the government? Why were they fined? What's their business model? These are things that are available as information packs on the internet. There's almost nothing about ZCrest that's not on the internet today. So imagine if you lived your life over the past 4 years being an information person, being curious about how the world works. Sometimes you get a job as CF as a finance associate
One
with
email.
MTN, the thing that will make you pass is not the finance question. It might be a conversation around Israel, around Gaza, Israel, around Ukraine, Russia. People want to hire people who are on a discovery part of life, people who are curious about everything, because the problems Modupe is trying to solve in MTN, they may not be written down somewhere, but it is that I have a team of people who can always find solutions to the problem. So how do you find solutions? You must be very madmen. They call them madmen. Why? Because they were curious about how the world works. All the glory days of Islam, what was it all about? Curiosity and information. People will do research in biomedical, medicine. The more things change, the more they stay the same. The world is still the same. Curiosity will get you far. When you meet somebody that is high up there, and then he's talking, he won't talk to you at your level. He's talking to you at his own level. Oh, I just left a meeting now, and we're discussing the marginal field round. And then you say? How you get a job? You're like, oh, sorry, you're a small boy. That's what's going to happen next. But when you have curiosity, it means you know so much about everything. You get into the room. When you get into the room, you get the job, then excellence and competence get you to the next level. And that is what life is all about. So at Access Bank, it was nothing more than that. Unfortunately, it was not even information. I didn't know anything. I remember my first interview with the MD of the bank then. It was at 12:30 midnight. Yes, I can't forget it. And I pity the man. You know, it's not as if he was doing a gap for me and saying, oh, I'm busy 12:30. No, he was working continually. He was working all day, and it was and then we had to wait because we were still working. And then my turn was 12:30, and I remember him sitting on the opposite side of the desk. His leg was on the, had removed tie, he was tired. He was just a human being too. His leg was on the table, and I was seated, and he was asking me my family. We didn't discuss banking, because I'm not expecting anything about banking. But I could show him intelligence now. I was speaking the things that I understand, my views about life. What do your parents, what do you think about them? Like, it's something as simple as those type of questions. So again, curiosity. Curiosity makes you understand that you don't know anything. It makes you have something they call growth mindset. That is the biggest difference between people that win and people that lose. And I'll tell you something about my journey so that you can take it home. My first degree was in industrial chemistry. I was supposed to be an engineer. I got to AAU for engineering, electrical electronics. But then OAU was always striking. I guess let me continue with this chemistry. Let me finish it first. I'm going to do another thing later. But after I finish it, I'm like, it's a bad day for us. Let me go and look for a job ahead. I did industrial chemistry for my first degree. Started to work in a bank. I tried to go back into that space. I did a test with a PTDF to get scholarship because I got an admission to UCL in London to go and do chemical process engineering. But the tuition was £10,000. A village boy from Mosifa Ejigo. I was already working in the bank, but how much was my salary? I had to let it go. Continuing my finance, I did a master's at OAU. Please don't do MBA in OAU. Whatever is worth doing well. Thank you. I'm being serious. Don't do an MBA at OAU because you must do things for value, not for certificate purpose. For value. Don't do an MBA in OAU. I'm not is a good school, but those things are good for undergraduate studies. End. So, I won't tell you what to do, but just look at my journey, for example. Entered into finance because I was a banker, right? Got into banking and then just became right. I have a CFA. I started my CFA in 2011. That was the same time I was doing MBA in OAU at the same time. I was doing the two together. I was doing my hard work, MBA in OAU, CFA at the same time. What? Hey, curiosity problem. Chartered Financial Analyst program is the biggest program for any finance person in the world. It's the biggest qualification. It's rated to be. I think I'm number 78 in Nigeria.
Takbirullah.
This was 2013. But pay attention. In the bank, I was a treasury manager. So I was a trader of financial assets, and I was also a treasury manager. So balance sheet management for the entire bank. So that was the important work I was doing for the bank. And it was the bad time when banks were being taken over. Crisis time. Who knows that time? Credit crisis, when Oceanic Bank failed. That hard work was my job of keeping the bank afloat. That was my job. I was the one that did that transaction of intercontinental bank purchase. I arranged for that 50 billion. I paid that 50 billion. I still have the ticket in my house. But pay attention, I'm going somewhere. If you know about finances, you can see finance. We are all finance people. From finance, from doing banking, right? What I was trained as is treasury manager and trader. So the first thing Zcast was doing was trading. And it's not this thing you could do that is gambling. We offer a proper service. MTN today has a big balance sheet. They want to invest that money, right? They want to buy government Euro bonds. They want to buy Sukuk, buy anything they want to buy that is investment. That was the business I was in for the bank, and that was the business we started Zcast at. Even though I was a banker, I wasn't trained as a banker, as a lender or a deposit. I wasn't trained like that. But the next year after starting Zcast as a trading house, what did we do? Zbanks, a proper microfinance type institution. I didn't have the native knowledge for it. I wasn't trained to be a lender. Today, Zbanks is one of the biggest lenders, non-bank lenders in Nigeria. You can see the growth mindset. I wasn't stuck about what I knew. I was happy to go into things I don't know and learn about them. So we started Zbanks in 2014. Pay attention. In 2017, I did not know what they call UI UX. I never heard of that word before. UI UX. I didn't know what they call that thing. In 2017. Today, Zcast technology and product team is at least 50 people. So the company was able to adapt to that new thing, even when the founder doesn't know what they call UI UX. I thought it was graphic design. Like I saw somebody's CV from my bank. It says it says experience design. Experience design. That's what I said because I'm just a finance person. I didn't know any of these things. From that, Zcast became a technology company. We have products in market that are high technology. In lending, in investment management, in securities. One of them, they will show you one of those things today. From that, when I was 30, I was easily the most consequential 30-year-old in Nigeria, self-made. But then in 2016, out of growth mindset, I started to see new signs. There's a new space of people coming, that will be technology people. I have zero of those things. So it was clear that my relevance in the future is at risk. What did I do? I said, if you cannot beat them, join them. So if I cannot, I'm not a developer, I've gone past all of those things. I can't even build a fintech company at the time because I was going to have to grow to become a technology company, right? But in the end, what can I do? Zcast started to become an investor in technology. So we're a venture capital investment house today, investing in about 40 different companies. Half of that money is gone to zero. But there's a message there. The comfort to go through unknown territories all the time. So we got into technology investing. If you go and check any of your favorite companies, say, raise money, seed financing, you see Zcast name inside it, for example. Pay attention. And then from there, I said technology is not going to get us where we are going because it's overrated. People have just turned it to Bitcoin trading. It's just become a way for people to steal money in discipline and just mess everything up. Let's go back to the basics. Let's go back to the core. I've never done investment banking before now. I've not done private equity investment before now. But today, I was trying to get to work in an oil company, right? That's why I went to go and try to do masters in UCL. We got into energy. We are an investor in one of these last marginal fields called oil block business. I'm a director in that same firm today. In 4 months from now, I'll be the chairman of that company for my 1 year. You can see what it must take for someone to go into ambiguity all the time, things that you don't know about. It's growth mindset. It is curiosity that is the biggest skill set. Personal. When I say what's your personal character, look, if you have curiosity and you are competent, the world is yours to win. So that's the experience. Thank you. Curiosity and a growth mindset gets you very far. A very good example, Satya Nadella. Who knows that man? Who knows Satya? Microsoft. If you know the story of Microsoft, you know the reason why Satya is the greatest human being alive when it comes to the business world. Just look at the transformation in Microsoft. From the founder, Bill Gates, handed over to a salesman, Steve Ballmer, who is now the richest person of Microsoft anyway. But it's not about the money. But see the journey Satya has taken Microsoft on. Microsoft used to look like what's this other company? IBM. Then big company, just is the most modern business today, more modern than even Google. All the biggest new trends is Microsoft's own. See that transformation. Look at the kind of person Satya must be. Not looking for personal glory like Baumer. Baumer was just buying company just for personal glory. Bought a BlackBerry, bought all of those things. But look at, because if you live here, go and read up about Satya Nadella and his leadership of Microsoft. And again, apart from that, go and read up about what they call the growth mindset. Those two things, I think, can change your life and your perception about the future and your work.
Thank you very much. We'll be taking a question or two now. If you have a question, kindly raise your hand. Let us see. Okay. Wow, we have many questions. Okay, let us just take. I'll be giving us numbers.
No, don't give them number. Tell them to donate to the center. Whoever donates the most should be the one to ask the question.
Should we do that? Okay, please let me see your hands clearly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 questions. Good. Yeah. So can we 1 to 5? Can we please come outside, please? And please, once you have to ask the question very straight, don't greet us, or don't greet them, don't thank them, just don't appreciate, just give us your question. Thank you.
So my question is, my name is Ridwan. So my question is, here now, we are Muslims. How do you think that, as you are the CFO of MTN, how can we create a channel or a pathway for the Muslims to rise through the same process that got you to the top? I mean, deliberate process. Not just one person at the top, but several individuals, Muslims. Because now we're in this camp, we're in the trenches. If it is possible for us to have a good number of Muslims at the top, perhaps we will not be here. My question to you. Thank you.
Number 2.
Okay, we're writing them down. Don't writing them down. My own brain is not that.
Now, so my question is, with what we have been saying now, with the company you're working with, Access Bank, maybe you formerly, I'm just trying to ask that Islamically, what do you think about those things that we talk about riba interest and all this stuff within the bank? How do you deal with those problems? So I would like to know about this.
So my question is that I have this issue with passion, being passionate. For example, now I did agriculture, so but now I've been learning software development for some years now. But I know that I'm not passionate about it. But I know that it is important. For example, now I did NYSC, and there are so many job opportunities around, and it's very difficult for you to see job opportunity for agriculture. You understand? So I'm doing something because I think it is important. But I know that I'm not passionate about it. So another question is that how do you deal with insecurity? For example, now I did agriculture. I was the best in my class. But I know that if they are choosing 1 to 550, there are so many people that know agriculture more than me in my class. You understand?
But you are the first.
Yes, in the books. Okay. So I have that deep insecurity that I don't really know this thing. You understand? And also, so many that I have done. I went to Madura Awabi for our Arabic. I lived there, but I know that this Arabic I don't know it. So, but now I'm also into software development. You understand? I don't know it. I don't know it too. So is it that I'm not competent or something?
Yeah. My question is, how do we deal with different advices? How do we deal with different advices? Because I came up, I'm from a family where my father is an educator. He feels like, do this, intention in the league. We'll come after 2 weeks again, we'll be like, to try a league. I'm very confused that so how do we deal with when there are too much advices?
Thank you very much.
My question is, what is your advice to someone who is trying to build up something from scratch?
Entrepreneurship?
Entrepreneurship. Either by little tech or into anything. Like that kind of self-confidence to build up something from scratch.
Thank you very much for the question. Okay, so Emeke would answer the first question on challenging Muslims to the top.
Okay, so now I'm going to be my extra ultra critical mode. and bear with me. No, unfiltered. I hate questions like that.
Get ready for thick skin.
I hate questions like that because those are questions based on self-defeat. Why do you need? Why can you not take responsibility to chart a path for yourself? Think. So, like I say, for instance, if it's a business situation, I say, okay, fine. Somebody says he needs money. So when he says, why have you not started your business? He says, Usowu. And I say, okay, if I give you a blank check, how much should I write on it? Okay, Mombo. Do you understand that? So it tells you that you are not prepared. And the more you try to force the narrative, the higher your disappointment. But having said that, practically, I do believe platforms like Grammar and other things, we should actually have a mentoring track. But it's not for everybody. There has to be pre-qualifications. So if the idea is that if you pass through that and you qualify to enter that mentoring school, where you are going to be putting the best and brightest, and you are going to do those things that will enable you get to the top, then yes. But if it's a situation where like, it does create waste. So for instance, somebody says, okay, this is my CV, and I look at you're not competent, I won't hire you. I don't care. Rather, I would invest time in training you or developing you such that when you present yourself to an interview, you'll be the best on merit. So this time, most of the times, we're often laid back. We were not going, we prepared to go the extra mile. And then we just think people will give you a handout. Okay, yeah, attempted, so therefore it's our turn. Muslims should enter. Is it Muslims that are laid back, that are not adding value, that are not improving themselves? So let's get the priorities right. However, if you are saying today, we want to enroll a program on 50, 60, similar to the Faith Foundation or anything, I'm sure Hamzat and myself will subscribe to it, anything. But then the people must have done the hard work. And when you go through that process, you will excel. So we need to start changing our mindset, our thinking. Don't depend on handouts. It's not because the people out there don't want to. Because even if they give those handouts, it will not work for you. It will not work for you. With time, it will crash. I'm not saying why I was taking off 50% of his investments, but I can tell you that there's some relationship in that. You know, especially with all these startups and without having the mindset. So that's what I will say on that. I have no issue about it, but there must be. Just like when I talk about mentoring, you must respect the time. And when you respect the time, you must be willing to put the time and effort. And what Hamzat was just trying to say is no pain, no gain. If you don't develop yourself, if you don't subject yourself, most of these things, I don't want to tell my story because we don't have the time to do it. But you will have gone through literally hell to get to where you are today. So people are only just looking at the outcomes and say, this, that. But you don't know the years in the wilderness, you know, where you actually start questioning yourself. But it's also an opportunity for you to build yourself. So it's possible. You can create channels, but in the past where those things have been done, people don't even put in the time, the effort, the commitment, and that's why people would, you know, withdraw. Allah.
So can you also answer the question on conflicting advice? Person that gets different advices from
These are basic elementary things. Self-awareness, okay, you're not good in Agric. Fine, okay, your parents forced you to go and do Agric. You wanted to go to, I mean, you've heard Hamzat's story. He went in industrial chemistry. But his mind or his passion is not there. Eventually, he found what he was passionate about. Look, listen, as long as you are prepared to. And people like that, again, at times, you might be an advanced prostitute. In other words, you're just going from pillar to post running around. So there's one book when it talks about what got you here will not get you there. And one of the traits that is taking too much advice or adding too much. So as somebody has barely said this, because you look at that, that's like, we have a like you. Maybe we should do this or that. No. What you should do, you should have the mindset of Edison or whatever, Thomas Edison. when he was doing his experiment on light bulbs, he said that experiment was done almost 10,000 times, abi? But each of the reasons, each of those occasions, he did not see them as failures. He just found out as reasons of what is not, would not work. So use those experiences that you have gathered as learning about, okay, Eleyo, I'm not cut for it. Eleyo, no, I'm not cut for it. At a point, you'll find something that you are cut for. And when you find it, you follow it.
So you want to answer the question on interest?
Yes, I will answer that. But I wanted to just add something about advice because it's also important. Our parents mean the best for us. They love us. But because of our own culture, they believe they know best. But you find that with something. Make sure when you're looking for advice, prioritize the advice from people who are the leaders of what you're trying to do, not your parents. In this one, your parents will tell you to go to school, do all of that. When it comes to, for example, my brother is our CTO now at Zcrest, self-taught from way and all of that. When he was still starting with me, my father said, I found him a job. My friend is a Sage, maybe Sage implementation person. Let's buy a come and be like, Buyer is going to be the Sage competitor in the next 10 years. Then come and Sage implementation. It means well. So qualify. Make sure you go to the right person for your career advice. Your parents mean well, but they are not the best. They are not in tune with what is happening today. So that's number one. Straight to the question of interest, and I will link it up to the first question that my brother asked about getting Muslims to the top. When we are younger, there's this passion that we think about, okay, we also just, and so therefore we must get Islam to the top in everything. But we must understand that things we must do that are not obvious. He said the best of it. It's not about competency. Whether you are Muslim, idol worshipper, or not, MTN does not care. Show up with first class degree. My brother here would even call you to his house. He would, even the idol worshipper, he would come and say, let's do drinks. Let's go, let me take you to dinner because I need you in my team. It's all about the work, right? If as Muslims, if these kind of associations empower us to get into everywhere, it's only civil service that they used to do politics. Private sector, they don't care if you go to church or go to mosque. Let me not lie to you. But of course, there's a mission why, because Muslims are a big disadvantage also in the world today for cultural reasons, right? So where we can add value is not at the point of trying to look for a job, is at the foundational level. How do we make our children learn better things? How do we get them with better STEM empowerment? Those empowerment opportunities are things that associations are also doing. All of these kind of programs. I mean, you've met Moshood Nine from MTN. That's an added value, right? But at the time of getting a job, it's all about competence. But the message is clear. It's something we discuss all the time. My friend Niyi Yusuf of Veraki, the same thing we're talking about. We need to get more Muslims up the ladder. But again, so much is given, much is expected. People need to come ready, right? People need to come ready. We have a mission. It's our pride. If we have more people at the top, it's our pride. But the truth is, the only answer is not by unionization. It's not it's not a solution to that problem. It is competence. Muslims and in history, it's all about everything Islam achieved was from competence. Yes. Go and read about the golden age of Islam during the Abbasid Caliphate again. We were freaking competent. So competence gets us to the top level. This question is very tricky, and I've had to accept my own role. In an ummah, you have different people, and each of them, their work is valuable. I've left. Interestingly, when we were in secondary school, I was a chief missioner, and I'm still a person of the scriptures. But I've left the job of missioner to my friend now, Kamal, and other people. My own work instead is empowerment. How do we empower the woman? And I'm not, anything I say here is not against what the ulamas have taught you. But you didn't invite me today to come and do tafsir for you or come and open Ibn Kafir for you. You invited me here because of what? The business world. And I will talk for you from that point of view, balancing that with the expectations of Islam. Our first priority, my own first priority as a leader, is not to get everybody to become Ifsul Quran. That's not my own. In this community, everybody, they give me a different job. Maybe that's Kamal's job. To make sure you're all Ifsul Quran. My own job is empowerment of the woman. And what does that mean? I have one big ustad. Incidentally, he's the chief imam at Lekki Phase 1, Imam Ridwan. Imam Ridwan was my ustaz in school. We were in learning together. So we're all living around the mosque. He was the chief imam of the mosque outside of the school gates, Tanke, Okiodo. I was living in Tanke, Okiodo. So most of half of my Quran and Arabic today, I got it from Imam Afar Ridwan. He did something that was very important to me in those areas, and I understood this leadership thing. You know, MSS, we are very passionate people. That see we are the ones that will take Islam to jihad. So anytime I can't remember whether it's Eid or something, we used to do this march around school that the MSS presidents will climb on the horse. We'll go around. Jihad week, and then he was, maybe we were trying to replicate how Rasul also entered Mecca on his victory lap, or maybe how Isa rose to Jerusalem too, you know, and they were beating people. When you see a Muslim posting, they get no leg back. You know, but you know, when you get to the rewards, but he will tell you, say, Islam taught us something, tolerance, even for the other people. Please pay attention. Islam taught us tolerance because we're not living in a secular community. And we are fighting for resources with other people. It is that's so. What there was not a time the chief imam of Ilorin Central Mosque, a passionate human being, but he's not a Sunni Muslim. He's a Tijaniya. May God bless. May Allah bless you. May Allah bless you. He's a Tijaniya, but he's very passionate. Like if he holds the mic during you would be like, wow. But it's Tijaniya. So one day the Sunni, MSS is always Sunni. Jihad against Tijaniya, against the Imam. They were fighting him, they were blocking his radio office, and then they came to town. Come and meet my Alpha. Because he's also he's our spiritual leader. He's the only person that I know in my life that even lecturers, even the Amirs, they used to call him Ustaz. He was learned. And they came to me and said they were fighting a gas. They want to do this on this one. And he called them. He says, how does that make sense? What message are you passing to the community that Islam is divided? Why don't you all join the Ummah properly and let one of you take over from him succession as leader of the Muslim society, so that when he leaves his tenure, you can introduce Sunni Islam principles. That's what ended that one. The most important Muslim society in Nigeria today, who knows it? NASFAT. Do you know why? Because they are the ones that kept the border of Islam secure. Forget, you cannot, matter what you do or what you say to yourself, everybody cannot be Sunni Islam with Tabligh. It's not possible. But they carry your identity and they represent where you are not. So they came again and said, you want to go and do jihad on NASFAT in Ilorin. They came to this Ridwan that it's Bidya they are teaching. And they are very passionate women and they fear them. And then Afa called them down and said, you should be ashamed of yourself. That movement, half of them don't pray. It's not a lie. But no, you know what it does? It is the frontier of Islam against the other side of the world. Everyone that is inside that frontier represents the Muslim identity. And so when they are talking about Muslim prosperity, those people represent you. They're already inside the coverage of Islam. You can continue to improve them. Why don't you guys all join? Again, he told them, why don't you all join NASFAT? You are learned. They will easily give you the position of missionary. Then you can start to teach people what you want to teach them. All right? Rather than take this very hard stance. The thing that has kept Islam not prospering is these hardcore views, right? Now, Islam is Islam. The words of Allah cannot change. But Allah recommends, it is also known that even our best deeds are like filthy rags. It is only by His grace. There's a verse in Quran that says that when my messenger asks for, when my servant asks for forgiveness, I'll forgive him. When it comes to him walking, I'll come to him running. That's a huge message. But if you want to prosper as a community, you must take more people to the community. Why do you think Muslims in those days were always having higher birth rates? Because you know that there's power in numbers. We want more people to be Muslims. Over time, we would help them get better, pray better, and then Islam as a community will get larger. So the question of riba, we're in a secular world. And that's the absolute truth, right? During the old times, we had an Islamic kingdom. Even the Ottoman Empire, it became secular at the end of its life. We're in a secular, and that is the reality of it, all right? The things that we need to prosper the community today, Islamic banking, thankfully, we have Islamic banking in Nigeria and it's growing. But percentage-wise, it's not yet there. MTN, we don't want to do a corporate bond, and they say it's only Jais that they want to do it. Collateral. The reality is that the capital is in the hand of the West, and we have to rule our world. We have to be prosperous. So I'm not asking you to personal faith now will determine what you do, but do not demonize anybody that is a Muslim that is working as CFO of MTN and is placing money in the bank and they're giving him interest. I won't mention my own work. But the important thing is that what prosperity for the woman is what we should all be interested in. Allah knows best. Allah has also told us that even in the worst of times, it's also permissible for you to eat a human being, right? But keep it between you and your God. And when the problem passes, tuber from it and go back to it. So there are exigencies, right? And right now we live in a world of an exigency where Islam is not the one ruling the capital market and the world, and we need the same capital to grow. So some people, they won't be the best, they will not be the amirs of the woman, but they will work in banks. They work in MTN, they work in this man, don't you want it for financial institutions? So those are business realities. If that is your path, please don't shy away from it. Pray to Allah to open bigger paths for you. Pray for Allah to deepen Islamic banking so that they will become a viable alternative. We don't want to say because I want to do Islamic banking, so everybody should go and resign from their banking jobs. And then we'll not come and hire my brother and come and ask us questions again. How come Muslims are not the owners of banks? Because banks are the capital for everything. Everything in this country. You want to start an MTN, it's banks that will finance it. And let's be very honest with that. So if you want to do small things, you can find your friends and family. If you want to do what Dangote is doing, it is banks. Unfortunately, banking industry in Nigeria is secular. And in spirit of tolerance, we have to accept it while we're also working towards a future that will be more Islamic.
Sorry, sir. In 30 seconds, can you also answer the question on building a business? Just in 30 seconds. The one that's
building from the scratch. I'll be very honest with you. I think that if you can help yourself, find corporate experience first.
Yes.
Every business is the same. Every business is a finance problem. Every business is a finance, strategy, and leadership problem. Anything you want to do in this world, be it poultry, be it agriculture, it's all finance, strategy, and leadership. So how do you learn all of those things without some experience? It is better that you find. I mean, and even in the old days, it's always the same. You do apprenticeship first now. When you're doing, what are you doing in apprenticeship? Finance, strategy. Why did Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, why did he work with Khadija? Finance, strategy, leadership. It was the same thing. You know, he was best at finance actually. He was making sure that there was no receivables. Go and ask. No, I'm not joking. That was the biggest thing he did for Khadija. There was no receivable. So I thought. At the end of the day, so if you have it, some people leave their career too early because of entrepreneurship without having so that you can understand. I didn't decide to go into entrepreneurship. It wasn't like I said, I'm done with banking now. But when an opportunity came up that was clear, I didn't fight. I didn't have to. Some people force it, you know, just because I don't want to work for somebody because they'll be shouting on me. I've had 2 million and let me go and start poultry. If you don't buy. So important thing is don't force it. But when you are excellent, competent, when a door opens, you will see that this is a door, and you will with confidence you will walk into that door. So don't force it. You get corporate, but if you don't get corporate experience, still remember the same thing: finance, strategy, leadership. Take courses, understand those things, become an expert in those things. Know how to build your business right. I would like to ask another question about confidence. I have 2 people speaking on this one, and I'll link this also. I did an MBA this year at London Business School because I was just choked up, and I just felt I was inadequate. And I want to make you understand something. Nobody knows it all. Everybody, the person that you think is successful has self-doubt. Today, nobody knows it all. It's all about growth mentality. I think you'll be a millionaire very soon. No, he said something that was very clear to me that he's going to be a rich man. He has a growth mentality. I'm the best in agriculture in school, but I don't know it. I'm doing. Don't laugh. I'm not joking. That is my DNA. It's an important DNA. When all this English I'm talking about, Satya and Adela, that is what I'm talking about. Because when you have a view that I don't know something, what does it make you do? It makes you paranoid. You look for more knowledge. You testing more things because you don't believe you know it. You put in more safeguards when you're doing. Hey, I don't know it. So be careful here. That thing is powerful. When you believe you don't know something, it says he's the best in Greek science, but there are other people in the class that know it's more than you. So you know what that means? You know what he does then? Then every time he's asking any new questions. He'll be like, well, she do want to buy one. And if yes, you like drop off. Carbon neutral. Show my one. It's a great skill, so you are not alone. My personal story, which is funny, which is that there are two confidence questions. And so that you just know that you are not alone. Personally, people think I'm super successful, but I'm not going to lie to you. I suffer from what they call imposter. I don't suffer, it's who I'm an imposter. I'm a fluke, right? I believe that one day they just remove the cover. They say, but when you share actually a fluke. And that's my reality. I did start to change of like, let's go to therapy in 2021. And the first thing my therapist told, because they were just collecting my money, but I got one thing from them. They said, for this 1 week, let's try something. Let's just see how many no's you can say to people. You know, I was a people pleaser because I was an imposter. I didn't think I knew anything. So I was just, anybody, I'll be over bending for people. My doors were always open, no boundaries. Anybody can talk to me, come because I really was no confidence in that sense. And they said, just try many people you can say no to in 1 week. Whether it's reasonable or not reasonable, just say no. So one of my investing companies, Collins, I give an appointment to come and make a pitch to me, come and show me what thing they're doing. I say, and this is funny because now I look at that, you're a CEO of a company, and then a random startup guy can just go and just pick up from the car and say, come now. And then the guy will say, and I said, he called me and I said, no. And then he said, hey, where can I come? Why, sir? Why no? I said, no, it's my bloody time. No, I don't want to have a conversation with you. I said, okay, sir. He went away. My wife came, I said, no. So for 1 week, I was just saying no to everybody. And it felt very good. Because now I realized that nobody really cares about you. It is your journey. So you don't owe people too much. Don't spend yourself so much to satisfy people. So looking back to confidence, nobody knows it all. The people that most of us are people that are always, what do you think curiosity means? It means you don't know something now. So every day you are checking again, you are double checking, you are second guessing yourself. It is normal to be in that stage of mind. Again, if you grow the way I grew up, underprivileged. Me and Kama used to drink soapy water. Did you tell them the story? We didn't have water in school, so if you bring a bowl and then we'll all be begging for water, running around. And then we had one bucket under our bed. So when they said, tankers arrived after 1 week, we rushed out. Apparently, no soap inside. We poured the water, it was okay, we had no choice. So we drank that thing like that. And then we had dig your well. We all had our own wells. We cover it and put your name on. Come back beer that lost in the well. That's how we grew up. So when you grow up like that, it does your psychology. It makes you inadequate. It puts you in a prison where you think you are not good enough, no matter what you achieve. Who raised that question about confidence? Passionate and then?
The person that wanted to build from scratch.
Okay. So more, I think I resonated more with the story. When you grow up where we grow up, where you feel inadequate, you are seeing Banana Island, and then you give a Asia, I would illuminate. Go to schools, no money. I'm asking by I won't come around my phone 3 of provision. I'm Mugari, oh bad, but my brother, oh bad. This is the day I'm married, I'm a Curry, oh my oh. When you grow up like that, I'm not kidding you. It does. So no matter how good you get, people will see outside this guy who back first class, but internally you are in turmoil because you don't think you're good enough. You're having to fight for your place in the world. My message to you is that you are not alone. It's a feature of the journey, it's not a bug. It is expected. It is your success that will take away all of those things from you. As long as 2 + 2 will always be equals to 4. Forget how you feel. And that's the message. Think of yourself as a robot. Go leave your body and go and examine you as a project. If somebody is the best in mathematics, somebody made a first class or 2-1 in school, is the best in class. it is 2 plus 2 always equals to 4. You would always be successful. That's the message I want to pass to you. Forget how you feel internally. As long as you are doing you are showing up every time, you are the best in every situation that you are in, you are excellent, the success will always come. That's my answer to you. Another question about was tied to what he said about getting Muslims in the door, was tied to whether I should do, I have so many options, I don't know what I should do, whether I should do software design. There's something that was powerful that I described in my MBA, and it was one of our last courses, and he said something. I won't tell you about this, but this message is that we always ask, when we have a choice to make, choice of school, I finished secondary school, OAU or UNILAG, then I'm trying to check where should I pick. We have a panic in our hearts. Do you know where that panic is coming from? Is that you have 3 choices. Our mind is that there's only one good choice. And if you made the mistake of not choosing that good choice, our life scatters. Am I talking to people here? Yes. Is that how we feel? Yes. When it comes to career too, hey, agriculture, hey, software, your mind said that there's just one good choice here, and if you don't choose that good choice, your life will scatter. But the learning which was very empowering to me is to say that in life, there are multiple mountains we can climb, and each of them will get us to the top. But any mountain we climb, just show up with excellence and with commitment. My brother is successful, I am successful. Did we climb the same mountains? No. But did we start the same way? Absolutely yes. We went to university together, maybe read the same type of courses, secondary school together, but our paths can diverge in life. So it doesn't matter. Take yourself away from that pressure of the best choice. Any choice you pick is a mountain, and there are multiple mountains that you can climb in this world. Any mountain you climb, just make sure you climb it well with strength. And inshallah, the future will be settled.
Thank you very much. So one more final question for MK. Someone asked that what is the best strategy to manage office politics as a top professional?
Office politics. Wow. Okay, so let me tell you a personal story. I think that's the best way that you can learn. So, if you work in a multinational, like I do, and so if you look at and this is what when we were trying to decouple to find out what the heck was going on, was that if you look at my company's hierarchy today, so it's the CEO, myself, chairman, all Nigerians, and then this company is owned by 40, it accounts almost 40% of the group, and they don't have any control. So now the narrative, I think Nigeria is back in you. So they now try to create problems for you. So there always be politics. But what I did find out in that experience was that, and it goes back to what Hamzat said, you can't run away from it. Competence. You see, I'd rather be in a situation where you don't like me, you hate the guts of me, but you can't do without me. See, there's nothing more powerful than that. I don't like you, this Muslim man, you can't hear me. These are facts. You hate my guts. You know like this guy every time you say we will meet on Friday. If you put me to a gym, you won't find me there. I don't care if it's board meeting. I won't go. But when you now look at the options, if we get rid of this guy, so build capacity. There's no shortcuts in life. There's no shortcuts. So these days I can just sit there. I may not even speak much in meetings, but the moment I speak, everybody will listen, because you are going to add value to the discussion. So when you talk about office politics, there always be office politics. But the best way to navigate them is also be a subject matter expert. Be what you call a linchpin. Somebody who's indispensable. Somebody that, to get rid of the guy, you think twice. You know, so your emotions may be running right out and say, okay, what next? So that's what I think. And I think that's the essence of capacity building. You have to be Look, when you look at the slides that I sent, the last slide is exactly what Hamzat said. It's actually a hadith of Kataba Isan ala kulli shay. Kataba Isan ala kulli shay. And that for me is the hadith that resonates in everything that I do. That is, Prophet Sallallahu said that he has prescribed excellence in everything you do. So a Muslim cannot be a mediocre. A Muslim cannot be a second-class citizen. A Muslim cannot be a bystander. A Muslim must be somebody who is at the forefront. And then when you take or you listen and you talk, yes, you command the respect and the gravitas that is necessary. That's what we need to build to ourselves. And once we do that, when politics come, there will be always politics. So make no mistake. But you will navigate them successfully. Assalamu alaikum.
So we appreciate our facilitators and we pray Allah SWT continue to increase them in all ramifications. Now from Zcrest want to organize a quiz for us, and there's a big prize attached to it. I would hand over to the representative from Zcrest to give us the further details.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
That's the first this morning. You failed. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so what we wanted to do, we know the song is about leadership, but one of the most important things for every leadership is how do you model information you might have. What you want to do today is to test your created an application that does not only help you with your savings, whether it be sukuk or halal investments that you want to make. We provide you with an application that makes it accessible for every one of you. But for today, what we want to do is we are going to be running a little tournament, just 10 questions. We want to see which one of us, 10 people, we are looking for 10 people who are going to top the leaderboard. And we'll be giving you some gifts at the end of the tournament. So how you participate in the tournament is to go to either your Play Store or your App Store and search for Zcrest Wealth. It's on my shirt. Shiny data. So search for Zcrest Wealth on Play Store or App Store. I'm about to download it because of you.
We should download the app. We should download the app.
Yes. Okay, I've re-downloaded the application.
It's downloading.
So you need to also create an account. I would point you to the direction of where the tournament is. A do not do 88. A do not do 88. A do not do referral code.
So we already get it.
Progress what? Network. Okay, you have time. You have time. Ajinadu.
You know the first letter. Please spell it
ADU 88. AJNADU 88.